Good evening, guys, and happy Saturday to all of your sunshiny faces. Sorry guys, I didn't realize the light behind me is still turned on. So there's weird glowing going on behind me. If you guys saw yesterday's vlog with the tornado sirens going off, like at the very end, I shared with you guys how I was like, oh, I'm gonna go and take a shower real quick because we're supposed to get like a severe thunderstorm in like 20 minutes. Actually, it had literally, I like put my camera down and all of a sudden Jack went to go take the dogs out because he's like, I'm gonna take them out before it starts raining. All of a sudden, like literally probably 30 seconds after that, the dogs were in the yard. We hear the tornado sirens going off. So he quick gathers up the dogs, gets inside. I go upstairs, tell my parents that the tornado siren was going off because they were both asleep. And they got up and like checked, and we had like a very small little like a tornado, I think it was like a tornado watch, but I think the winds were so high that that's why like the tornado siren was going off, possibly. But there was no tornadoes that I ever heard of that were like in our area. And so again too, though, I shared with you guys some of that footage from last night, like from the backyard and like the wind in the trees and stuff like that, which was actually after it had kind of died down a little bit. It did get like the rain whipping around was actually what was kind of more concerning. But again, there wasn't that I know of or have even heard of that there was like any tornadoes in our area, but it happened like it again too, it was probably around midnight or so that it happened, which was, like I said, kind of alarming because that's normally when everybody's sleeping, you know, and them going off. Like my parents were dead asleep, they didn't wake up from hearing it. So it was a good thing that me and Jack were still up, and then we were able to get them up. And then again too, we all came downstairs, and then like once it kind of died down a little bit was when we went and we're like kind of watching in the backyard. Well, in the back room and into the backyard, and that's what I shared with you guys. However, actually, there was a lot of damage, and there was like tornadoes in, like, I think it's more southern Illinois, but my mom's, like, I guess you would consider them like sort of very close family friends. Like they've known my mom since she was like 7 years old. They actually, their house was, like destroyed, or like, I don't know, partially destroyed. I think the structure's still kind of okay, but a lot of it was like the roof was torn off. It looks like their like sort of front porch was torn off, or like not even the like front porch, but it was like they had like maybe what looked like a covered like a 3 seasons or 4 seasons room kind of thing. Like all the windows were like all like the whole wall was like caved in. Like their house was actually on the news, which is how my mom saw it. But like it was funny because she was texting with them literally last night, and like they had, or somebody had sent her something, and then she was like, oh, you know, like I don't know if she like brought up like, you know, if you guys are like, you know, again in the path of the storm or something like that, and they were like, yeah, we're just like in the basement right now. But again too, that ended up happening to their house. It was like, oh my goodness, that is like terrifying. But thankfully they had a basement and they were in the basement, so like they were okay, which is like really amazing. But yeah, it's crazy, especially because it's March. And what's even kind of crazier with the whole like weather situation is that overnight tonight it's actually supposed to snow, and then I think tomorrow or Monday we're supposed to get snow, and then Tuesday it's supposed to be back up into like the 60s. So it's supposed to be like cold for a few days. Then after that, I think like Tuesday, Wednesday, it's still supposed to be like somewhat warmer. Then it's supposed to go back to being like high 50s or like 50s and 40s and stuff like that through what looks like the rest of the week. But hopefully it could still warm back up to being in the 60s because the temperature has been really nice. It's just the weather hasn't been really nice. You know, with like, again, like having a tornado literally in some areas yesterday, and then, you know, having our tornado siren going off and then getting snow tomorrow. You know, that's, or even tonight overnight, you know, it's just like, I remember that actually happened, I think one time really close to Christmas. I think it was like the week before Christmas. There were some areas in like either southern Illinois or central Illinois, something like that, where they got some really bad tornadoes like right before Christmas. But then again too, it like immediately after that was like cold, and maybe even snowed at some point during that week, which was also kind of like crazy because the temperature could just go from being one extreme to another extreme. But, and especially too in like a time when you don't really expect it. Like sometimes you expect that more in like the summer and stuff like that, but like around here you don't really expect it. You know, in the spring and in the winter, you know, like I said, that one time when it happened in like December, like that's that's kind of crazy to have to worry about that kind of weather in those, you know, times of year. But today what we actually ended up doing was, I don't know if I mentioned, but Matthew's birthday was like last week. And so we actually ended up, or 2 weeks ago, we ended up going out for his birthday though today, and we ended up going, he wanted, normally when we go out for somebody's birthday, like we like always will treat, like my parents I guess will always treat for dinner, you know, or lunch or whatever, breakfast even, you know, again to like at your sort of restaurant of choice. And a lot of times we'll do something like go out and see a movie or, you know, something like that. But Matthew wanted to go bowling, which was really fun. And there was like a local bowling place like near where he lives, so we ended up going there. But I am feeling it, guys. Like I was working some muscles somehow. I actually expected like my arms and like shoulders and things like that to sort of hurt. No, it's like my quads and like my like sides and like hips and stuff like that were all like bothering me. And I was like, how, when you think of bowling, right, you think of it more with just like your arm and wrist and like upper body and stuff like that. You engage so much of your like lower body too when you're bowling. I mean, like again too, and I think the way, I don't know if my form is correct, you know, or anything like that, but I feel like the way I see people bowl and stuff like that with like again too, you like cross the leg over in the back and like, you know, get, you know, I try and get really low to like, you know, try and throw the ball forward. And it's funny, I'm doing it again and I'm like, oh yep, that was the muscle right there. But you know, I try and keep, I don't have a lot of power behind when I bowl. I was actually in a league when I was like really little, but it was kind of fun. But I still like, I liked bowling, and I guess I was decently good at it. It's funny, my aunts, like, I guess it's sort of like stepsons, they're actually like in a bowling league. Like they, I think maybe got a scholarship or something like that to like bowl at their college and that kind of thing, which is really cool. Like they're the professional bowlers in the family. My parents were also part of a league when they were like, I don't know, before I was born. And they actually did so bad that they ended up giving them their money back because they were like the bottom team or whatever it was. So yeah, anyways though, it was really fun to get to go and do that today. My mom got first place in the first frame. We played 2 frames. And then I don't know who won the second one. Maybe my dad, I think, or maybe Matthew or something like that. But I think I got 4th in the first frame and then 3rd in the second frame. So I think my total points though, I got 4th overall, which wasn't too bad, but out of 6 people, I guess, you know, again, it wasn't too bad. And yeah, my thumb is actually the thing that's hurting the most, surprisingly. Like I said, I thought I'd be sore a lot more, but overall it wasn't too bad. It was pretty good. It was like a fun, you know, experience. I haven't gone bowling in a while, and it was also, again, we got to go out to eat. Then we went out to Chili's. It was, you know, just a pretty fun afternoon getting to celebrate Matthew's birthday. But I'm going to take a shower and get to bed. I will have a jewel haul for you guys tomorrow. If you guys did enjoy today's vlog, make sure you guys give a big old thumbs up. If you guys are new, we'd love it if you'd subscribe, and I'll see all of your sunshiny faces tomorrow. So bye guys.